Hey friends, Rob Phoenix, Power Guy here. Hope you're all doing well. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Just kind of piggybacking, I guess, off my last video about like gay magic and Wicca and powwow and Christianity and all this. Um, I started reading and studying this book called Incantations and Enchantments by Donald Tyson. And I thought this was a good place for me to start because it's a non-religious kind of situation. It's more about like the sacredness of language and how like the vowels that we speak have powers that resonate with planetary influences and such. And so I thought this would be a really good book for me to study and learn from in my quest to seek a more sorcery kind of magic outside of powwow and such that just doesn't rely so much on religion. But what's cool is that he talks about powwow in here. It starts with cunning men and wise women, which, of course, cunning craft is the ancestor of powwowing. So, but he talks about like the long lost friend and such with. Now, his theory is that the actual words spoken have sacred meaning based on like the vowel sounds and such and how you say it. That's not how I was taught powwow. That's not how I understood powwow, and that's not how powwow ever worked for me. But I don't disagree with what he's saying. I think he's taking a different approach at it, a different look at it. Like because powwow is a very Christian tradition, it really was dependent on the belief in the Christian Holy Trinity. But if you take his approach, it's more dependent on the sounds you're making by, uh, uh, um, intoning the spoken charms and such. So I think for anybody interested in powwow that really does not feel a connection with the Holy Trinity as found within Christian tradition, then this might be a good book for you because it attacks it from a different angle. So you might like this. Anyway, this is just one type of magic, one type of approach at magic we can take as like people who might not fall within a religious structure. Now, I still, I'm on the fringe right now. I'm still considering myself to be a Christian practitioner of magic. I still fall within that sort of Judeo-Christian kind of magical framework. But I am kind of reaching out outside of that and maybe moving beyond that. But for those of you who follow specifically because of the Christian magical tradition of powwow, I do recommend this book. Just because this will help. He talks a lot about the difference between prayers and spells. And that's one thing that I always got asked a lot as a powwow, well, why not just pray? Well, there's a difference between saying a prayer and doing a spell or a charm. Um, and he puts it very good, in very good terms. Like I was never able to like voice it, the difference, but the difference really, the bottom line is in a prayer, you're asking God to intercede and help you. Whereas in a charm or a cure or an incantation, an enchantment or a spell, you're saying it's this and it's going to be this. And that's you speaking your power into creation. So, whereas powwow for me always relied, and historically within Pennsylvania Dutch culture, always relied on the individual's faith in God. We reached out to God and said, please, God, make this happen. Whereas other forms of magic say, this is what it is, this is my will, and this is how it's going to be. So, there is that sort of difference there. Another thing that I've started studying is, and I started studying this because I have a lot of issues going on with my hands this past year. So I have something called osteoarthritis in both of my hands. It's worse in my left hand. It's actually caused a dislocation of the thumb bone from the joint. I mean, it's very painful. It's ridiculous. And this hand's very painful. My fingers are starting to get that crooked, you know. Um, anyway, so I started learning what's called mudras, which is basically yoga for your hands, but various like positions call on specific spiritual powers. So I thought this was really cool, especially since I'm really interested in like, I mean, we all want to be Doctor Strange, right? But like the mudras are very cool. Like this one here is for arthritis in hands. So you hold that for a certain amount of time, like 15 minutes, 3 times a day, and that's going to realign your energy centers for your hands and help with arthritis pain. So I've been doing that a lot. So for that, I would recommend this book here, Mudras Yoga in Your Hands. And it's fascinating. It's totally non-religious. This is not anti-Christian. This is not like anti-pagan or anything. This is just something different. And if you look at like those ancient paintings of Christ, um, where he's doing things like this, or this, like he's doing what are called mudras, and these all have magical significance. So these are all like, conjuring something within the body and aligning energy centers and such with. And so I think it's worth a study. So if you're really into like, I keep calling it sorcery, and that makes it sound like I'm trying to be a Marvel comic person, but I don't know what else to call it. This is certainly everything that I've been doing lately is outside of powwow. So magic, I guess, but this incantations and enchantments, highly recommend. And this, the Mudras Yoga in Your Hands. So these two books combined are teaching me, and they'll teach you as well, how to use your voice to call on like planetary powers and such just with certain chants, like even saying like the sorry, I get excited and I start stuttering, like the A-E-I-O-U. We say A-E-I-O-U, but to chant it as like A-E-I-O-U, calls down planetary energies, where to say it in reverse calls things from below upward. That's just an example of like some of the cool stuff I'm learning. So that coupled with certain hand mudras designed to uh, conjure spiritual power and such, and you can really feel that power being conjured. Anyway, I know that's like so far outside the realm of powwowing, but it's just where I'm at, and I don't know how to like transition my YouTube channel into that. So I apologize for those of you who come here to learn just powwow stuff. Like I'm changing and I'm evolving and growing out of that, and I'm not sure what I will become. But my last name is Phoenix, and so like the Phoenix, I will transform myself and be reborn and become something amazing. I hope. But anyway, thank you guys so much for the commentary on the previous video about Game and Magic. It was like a tricky video to make because I felt like I had so much to say, and I still feel like I have so much to say, but the commentary on it is amazing, and I love it. And I just feel like the love from you guys in the comments. Um, and I feel like I'm starting to make some new friends with you guys. I really appreciate that. So I hope you stick around and comment more and have discussion with me because it really helps me to learn. Like I only know what I know, which, we're all limited. We're all just human beings just trying to get through life. So I learn so much from the people I interact with. And I love it when people give me their point of view, especially when people call me out on stuff and say, yeah, that doesn't seem very good or whatever. And then I think about it and I think, yeah, you're right. I just learned something from you. So anyway, I'm blabbing. It's the holidays. Holiday madness has set in. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Love you very much. Let's talk again soon.